Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 540th Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. Straight away you'll see this is a barbarian invasion battle, and one thing about this battle is, can you see that mound there? Okay, this is fought on a custom map, and that mound could prove decisive to the outcome of this battle. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see how well we can do while attacking that mound. Okay, our first teammate is the host of this battle, a Brotherhood member First Prime, and he's got the Roman Eastern Empire faction. Okay, now First Prime usually brings a lot of the plumbarterai, which is bought here. Okay, now these guys throw those metal tipped darts, and we think they throw at least 20 of those each, and his army is usually filled with plumbarterai, so he's going to have a heck of a lot of firepower there. Also, he's got the elite Equitai Clibanarii cavalry, and the reason that is because they've got such great defense, and those like kind of rolling pins they're carrying there are effective against armor maces. These guys are so tough you can actually leave them in melee fighting infantry and they still do really good. Okay, you can't do that with most cavalry, but with those guys you can. So that's an interesting army build there. As I say, he'll bring a lot of firepower as he always does. The second teammate is Brotherhood member Legion 22, who has bought the Sarmatian faction. Now it's unusual to see Legion bring the Sarmatian faction. Quick look at his infantry there, and he's gone for the Bosphorian infantry. Now these are spearmen here, so obviously they're anti-cavalry, but they also do good against infantry as well. So it'll be interesting to see how well they do during the course of the battle. Here he's got some cheap 120-man units, the runaway slave spearmen. Okay, because they're spearmen, they will be anti-cavalry, but they're very cheap units. They're maybe just above peasants, but he could use those to soak up enemy missiles like arrows or any other missiles as well. Also here he's got his Sarmatian virgin foot archers here. Now they've got a long range and they can do a lot of damage as well. So I'll be interested to see how he uses those. I see he's got a warlord there, a unit for his general. But here you can see his cavalry are the Sarmatian noble cavalry. Now these guys have got really good specifications, and are really elite cavalry. So I think that's a pretty good Sarmatian army there. It'll be interesting to see how well he does with that. Our next teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who's got the Romano-British faction here. Quick look at some of the units here. You can see their infantry here are the British Legionnaires. Now these guys can throw pilers. Okay, you can see them holding them there in their shield hands. They're really steady, solid infantry as well. So they're pretty good infantry there. You've got two types of archers you can bring. You can bring the ordinary archers or these crossbow archers, the Bucellarii, and these guys fire effective against armor crossbow bolts, but they're very short range. Also, as you can see here, I've got the monks, a religious unit here, and it's very important in barbarian invasion that you bring a religious unit, because morale is so important. You need a religious unit to give your troops that extra morale bonus to keep them fighting longer. Also in this faction we've got the elite Grail Knights. Now in most of barbarian cavalry units have got 54 men. These have only got 32. That's because this units are so elite. They've got such good specifications, and that's why you've only got 32 of them. Okay, they're well armoured, good attack, good defence, and as I say, they should do well during the course of battle. So that's my Romano-British army there. And our last teammate is the co-founder of the Brotherhood, Brotherhood member Conan, who's got the Roman Eastern Empire faction here, the same as First Prime. And it'll be interesting to have a look at his army build there. I think he got a lot of archers here. He usually does bring a lot of archers. 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got 7 archers. Armoured archers there, so these are mid-range archers, and he's only got, I think, 9 infantry. 7 archers, 9 infantry there. And if you notice here, can you see his Comitatensis 122-man Eagle unit? If you notice the upgrades, can you see he's got 7 upgrades, and he's got an experienced stroke, gold shield, gold attack. Now Roman units are so dear, especially these, to put a stripe on them can be very cost prohibitive. So for him to do that, that's cost him a lot of money, but putting that stripe on this unit really does strengthen it even more, and it is a pretty tough unit to fight anyway. Plus he's got his Equitai Clibanarii. Once again, I say these tough cavalry where they're effective against armor maces, and as I say, they're so tough you can put them in melee against infantry and they still do really good. That's the great specifications they've got. So we've got quite a bit of diversity. We've got Rome there with First Prime. We got Sarmatians with Legion 22, Romano-British with Spartan Commander, and Conan's Roman army there. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Spearmen, who's got the Roman Eastern Empire rebels here. And if you look here, he's got a lot of Plumbarteri. Once again, remember these Plumbarteri throw at least 20 of those metal-tipped darts each. So once again, he's got a heck of a lot of firepower there. That's where the Romans are so tough on Barbarian Invasion, because of the firepower. And there he's got his Equite Clibanarii, once again effective against armor maces they carry there. So that's going to be a pretty tough army with a heck of a lot of firepower there. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member Aurelius, who has bought the Vandals faction. Now I think this might be the first time he's ever done that. Have a look at his infantry there. Can you see that he's got step heavy spearmen? So of course with spears there, they're going to be effective against cavalry there, and they're going to have an effective against cavalry bonus. And then he's got his elite infantry, the step horde chosen warriors. Okay, so there you are. He's got cavalry defense at the front there with his anti-cavalry spearmen, and then his elite infantry behind that. Of course, he has got the mounted Aryan priests, another religious unit here. As I say, can't emphasize how important morale is in Barbarian Invasion, and to bring religious units is a very good tactical move there. And then he's got his Step Raider archers. Now make no mistake, I think these could be some of the best archers in the game, if not the best archers in the game. They've got long range, they do a lot of damage, and their defense is really good. If you notice there, he's got 7 upgrades on this: experience, strike, gold shield, gold attack. And as I say, probably these archers are the best foot archers in the game. And then he has got his Step Noble Heavy Cavalry. These guys got good specifications as well, so it'll be interesting to see how well he does with that. And I believe he's got 2 horse archers as well there. Their horse archers are quite effective as well. So that's a pretty good Vandals army there. As I say, I think that might be the first time he's bought them. And then the next teammate is Brotherhood member Barclayman, who has bought the Celts faction. Unusual for him to bring the Celts faction. They've got their noble clansmen heavy cavalry. Now these guys are maybe only just middling cavalry. In fact, I'm not even sure if they're middling cavalry. They're not really great cavalry. And then he's got his Pictish spearmen. Okay, now these are cheap units, 120 man units, but of course because they've got spears, they're anti-cavalry and can be used as good cavalry shields units to protect your infantry. Then he's got his callow glasses. Now these guys carry double-handed swords there. Can you see those massive swords there? And the callow glasses there are quite tough infantry there. But once again, morale for Celts not very good, as he's got mostly callow glass infantry there. And then of course he's got his Hounds of Kulan there. Remember, these are those maces they carry are effective against armor. Now these berserkers, okay, haven't got as high specifications as other berserkers in the game, but what they have got is effective against armor maces. No other berserkers in the game have got effective against armor weapons, but these guys have. But they haven't got that same high specifications as other berserker units, so it swings and roundabouts really there. Okay, but look at the size of those Hounds of Kulan berserkers in comparison to a cavalry unit. Look how tall they are. So that's an interesting Celtish army there. It'll be interesting to see how well Barclayman does with that. And their last teammate is a Brotherhood member Demon, who's bought the Roman Western Empire army here, faction here. And if you notice here, he's got a shield wall, a spear shield wall at the front of his battle formation. Okay, so that's going to stop any cavalry trying to attempt to smash into the front of his formation there, because of course having anti-cavalry spearmen, and especially in a spear wall formation, is very formidable. Then he's got a lot of Plumbarteri. As I say, those Plumbarteri, remember, they throw about 20 darts, metal tipped darts each. Massive firepower he's got there in that army. Okay, make no mistake about it. This is why the Romans are so powerful on Barbarian Invasion, the firepower they bring. He's got 2 archers there, and he's got his Sarmatian auxiliary cavalry. Now, he usually brings serious cavalry on this game. Let's have a look at the upgrades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fully upgraded Sarmatian auxiliary cavalry there. Okay, so that's a pretty interesting Roman army there, and it looks quite formidable with just the firepower plus that spear wall there as well. Okay, so they got a bit of diversity. They got Rome, they've got Aurelius's Vandals, they've got Barclayman's Celts, and Demon's Romans there. So this has got the potential to be a really great battle. And as I say, the enemy have got this mound advantage. Now, could this prove decisive during the course of the battle? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, right at the beginning of the battle here, you can see Legion 22 is taking his horse archers there across there to start shooting at the enemy team there. I must say Legion 22 is very good with horse archers. He always brings a couple of horse archer units with his armies, and he can be very effective with it. Now, bearing in mind that most units on Barbarian Invasion are susceptible to archer fire, bringing good horse archers is a good advantage. Right, oh, here comes a Celt's Chariots here. Now, those of you may not have seen Celt's Chariots before. Here is a Celt Chariot here. They call them Scotty Chariots. They're light chariots here with missiles on. You can see they throw spears from these Scotty Chariots. They're fast moving. They don't bring a fear factor. Okay, so they don't bring any fear factor to destabilize enemy troops. I see Barclay Man had them hidden in the woods. Sneaky Barclay Man there. And now he's bringing those out to counter Legion's fast moving horse archers there. Okay. These Scotty Chariots, though, you know, you don't see them very often on the 31k battlefield, so it's nice to see them here. And as I say, they're fast moving, and they throw spears. But as I say, they don't bring a fear factor or anything like that. So as you can see them retreating now, as First Prime is bringing his Equitai Clibanarii forward there. His cavalry, those Equitai Clibanarii, suffer very few damage from any missiles there. They're so well armoured. There you can see Barclay Man there bringing his Scotty Chariot back into the fray here, looking to throw some spears into those Equitai Clibanarii cavalry. But as I say, you don't see these guys much on Barbarian Invasion. Very rare to see these chariots. So it's interesting, I think, for you to see there. Okay, you can see that Legion 22 shooting arrows into these chariots. I think these chariots are very weak. They will get taken out by archers quite quickly, and it wouldn't surprise me if the damage that they're suffering from those horse archers probably make them rout there. Now you might notice something on the back of these chariots here. You might recognise a banner that you see in another game. Okay, if you look there, can you see that banner there? Now, do you remember from Barbarian Invasion when you bring the Britannia faction? Remember, that's the banner that Britannia used there, and as you can see, that is on the back of the Celt's Scotty Chariots there. And as you can see, that Scotty Chariot unit has just now been routed, and First Prime looks like he's just going to finish it off with his massive heavy tank cavalry there. So as I say, it was nice to see that Scotty Chariot in action. As I say, you don't see those Scotty Chariots on the Barbarian Invasion battlefield much. And then on the other flank here, you can see that Aurelius was using his horse archers there to shoot into Conan's archers. Okay, you can see these horse archers here, well armoured. And as I say, they were shooting into Conan there, caused him some casualties. But you can see that the horse archers themselves lost a lot of casualties there from Conan's. Remember, Conan's got 7 archers there. But as I say, it'd just be interesting to see if this mound here is going to give the enemy team such an advantage that it could be decisive. Okay, you may well see them starting to move their infantry further up that slope there to give them a higher advantage there. It's got the potential to be a great battle, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this stage of the battle, what I'd just like to point out is here, you can see my troops here, but I'm with 3 of the most aggressive attacking Brotherhood members we've got: Conan, Legion 22 and First Prime. So make no mistake, the battle could kick off at anywhere along our battle line here when they decide to attack. Okay, so with Conan, Legion and First Prime there, we're just going to watch out what's going to happen there when the attack comes in. Okay. And as you can see, I can see Conan moving forward here, first of all here. So it looks like he's setting the standard for the attacking here. But those of you that have played with or against Conan, Legion 22 and First Prime will know how aggressive and attacking they are. But we're going to have to be a little bit careful here because we are attacking a mound here. And remember, that mound will give the enemy team lots of advantages. Their arrows will go further and do more damage. Their poilers will go further and do more damage. And of course, both infantry and cavalry will have a downhill advantage there. Okay, it's only a small mound, but they still will have those kind of advantages there because they are on slightly higher ground here. So as I say, it'll be interesting to see how we decide to attack here. You can see Conan's moved his army forward here, so his 7 archers come in range of those Vandal Spearmen there. He knows that he can do a lot of damage to them. As I say, most units on Barbarian Invasion are susceptible to archer damage, but I must say the Roman troops with their good armour are less susceptible to archer damage. In fact, some of their units don't seem to suffer hardly any archer damage, but all other factions do seem to suffer armor damage there. You can see Barclay Man, remember his Pictish Spearmen, we looked at them earlier, cheap 120 man units, but they have got spears, so they're anti-cavalry, and they are a good anti-cavalry shield. And if you notice there, can you see he's putting them out in front of him and his allies' troops there. Over here, as I say, on our right flank here, Conan's moved forward even more there to come into archer range there. Bearing in mind he's got those 7 archers. Now if you notice here, can you see he's got his units in close order there for more impact and more damage. But when you fight enemy archers, you need to spread your archers out. Okay, and that's what he's doing now. Can you see he's gone into open order now? Remember, you lose less men in open order to archer damage than you would in close order, and that's why he's put his into open order there. You can see that the enemy archers are already in open order, spread out. So anyway, newer players to Rome Total War, and we could be getting a lot of those with the new remastering coming. Then we try and put a few more hints and tips in our battles here for you, maybe to help you when you do play it. Look at the volume of arrows coming in here from Conan's archers there. He knows that those spearmen, they're very susceptible to archer damage. He's probably going to do a lot of damage to them. Can you see a massive rain of arrows he is now throwing into those enemy troops there? Okay, so as I say, the way that Conan's moving here, it wouldn't surprise me if it was him that started the attack. But as I say, with him, Legion and First Prime, it could come anywhere there. Okay, so that's that Pictish spear line there that Barclay Man's put out there as a cavalry screen there to stop any cavalry coming through there. So that's a nice tactic there by Barclay Man. And of course they're really cheap units there, so if they're attracting missile damage like arrows, expensive arrows being shot at them, he don't mind that. Now if you notice here, can you see the enemy? This is quite a surprise to me. The enemy have got their archers on quite level ground. I'm surprised they didn't mass their archers up on the higher ground there, and as we said earlier, they would get the high ground bonus there, where their arrows would go further and do more damage. So actually putting their archers there instead of maybe grouping them up there and shooting down from the higher ground quite surprised me there. But maybe it's a tactical move that they decided to do between them. Let's say these Roman Eastern archers here, they've only got middle range, but their archers are well armoured, so it does take a lot to kill them. As I say, at the moment there's a bit of an archer battle going, and because, as I say, most units in Barbarian Invasion are susceptible to archer damage, that's why there are a lot more archers involved. Obviously, the more archers you bring, the more damage you can do here. I see First Prime's throwing some of his metal tipped darts into that cavalry screening wall there of Barclay there. Those Pictish spearmen suffering a lot of damage there from those metal tipped darts. And as I say, First Prime's army is so packed with Plumbarturi, when they all throw their metal tipped darts, it's like raining darts down onto the enemy team there, causing massive casualties here. And I noticed that most of Conan's infantry are Plumbarturi as well. Okay, so let's just pause the game for a second here. So, what I'm thinking here is, can you see the enemy have moved a little bit more up that slope? Now, what do you think about an attack from this side here? If Conan brought his infantry here, okay, and there, and then moved up the hill to attack the flank of that unit there, backed up with his cavalry, do you think that that's a possible attack point there? Is that something that you may think about doing? But as I say, bearing in mind that they've got that mound advantage there, then their missiles are going to do a lot more damage to our troops than ours are, because we're kind of shooting up that mound, aren't we? And they've got that downhill bonus there. So it'd be interesting to see if Conan's going to try and attack on that point. And as I say here, you can see his archers here really targeting. I don't know if he's targeting the enemy archers here or targeting those Vandal troops. You can see Spearman's got some of his archers up on top of the mound now. So he's going to have a good range advantage onto us from being on top of the mound with his archers. And also he's got his cavalry up on top of the mound as well. So of course when he charges downhill, he will get a big cavalry charge bonus there from the top of that mound. If you notice at the back here, can you see Aurelius has got those horse archers shooting into the rear of my troops there, probably trying to kill my which surprise he's trying to kill my monks there, trying to take the morale bonus away from my troops. So yeah, I can see he's targeting the monks there. So if you notice there, I've bought my short range Bucellarii crossbowmen over here to try and counter them. But you'd be surprised how close my guys have got to get to an enemy unit to get into range. It's can you see how far forward I'm running there with my crossbow before I even come into range? And now those horse archers are just going to ride away. But it just goes to show, okay, these crossbowmen, they fire effective against armor bolts and can be very devastating, but it has to be at close range. So as I say, you can see how close I had to be there to get even into range of those horse archers. So that's a bit of a disadvantage for them, but close up they can do a lot of damage. But if you notice here, can you see the enemy team have kind of moved closer together there? You can see they've moved up the hill a little bit, up that mound, on top of the mound a little bit there, and they've moved closer together here. So this is going to be even more of a tough nut for us to crack, I think, now they've done that. They're kind of concentrating their forces a little bit more together there. I can't believe that Barclay Man's 2 spear units are still out there. Let's say those horse archers are back again because they've got such long range in comparison to my short range crossbowmen. They can come back and shoot them quite easily. I think though Legion's got his fast moving cavalry here. They're heavy cavalry, but they're fast moving here. Yeah, there you go. Those Sarmatian noble cavalry, they're fast moving, but they are heavy cavalry, and he's chasing away those horse archers. So that's a nice move there by Legion 22, chasing away. Because as I say, horse archers can be such a nuisance in this game, because as I say, most factions are susceptible to archer damage. And as you can see, my monks have been quite gravely damaged there by the amount of damage those horse archers did. Okay, so it's going to be an interesting battle. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so here you can see Conan's, one of his archer units has run out of arrows, so he's charging it forward there. Going to get behind one of those Pictish spearmen units, look, and then charge into the rear, and bang as he charges in there. But that archer unit probably hasn't got a lot of morale, and there's a lot of enemy troops around it as well. So my guess is that archer unit's morale will probably cause it to rout, I would think. Putting up a good fight there though against those Pictish spearmen. Yeah, and there you go. And then you've got, I think, some enemy archers for shooting into the rear of it as well, so routed that unit there. Okay, but as I say here, I got a feeling Conan's going to start off the attack here. Okay, you can see one of First Prime's cavalry coming in there, like, and bang, charged into that very weakened spear unit there, and routed it. Okay, so there, now we can start moving troops forward now, start moving cavalry forward now without having to worry about running into anti-cavalry spearmen there that Barclay Man had put out the front. Okay, so you can see Conan here moving very aggressively forward here, and you can see First Prime and Legion 22 has moved forward aggressively as well. But as I say, it wouldn't surprise me here if Conan tried to move around the flank of this enemy green Roman army here, and you can see that's exactly what he's doing. But he's going to suffer a lot of casualties here from the missiles coming down from that mound. A lot of missiles going to be coming down from that mound there onto his troops. It'll cause him a lot of damage. Look at the volley that he's just thrown up to there of them. That was a massive volley of those metal tipped darts. And as we thought here, you can see Conan here moving round to the flank, the right flank here, and looking to attack up the hill. But you can see that the Vandals general Aurelius has brought his spearmen forward here, and looks like he's going to do a mound charge here into Conan's infantry there. And here goes those Bosphorus spearmen and those chosen horde swordsmen as well. Bang as they charge in there. Okay, they're going to be suffering some casualties there from the those metal tipped darts, but they are on a down mound charge there. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a hill, would you say it's more of a mound, I think, really, as those spearmen are charging into, you can see one of Conan's infantry is already routed there as they're charging in. Of course, Aurelius there, smart move, got his religious unit there chanting, giving his units that morale bonus, plus they have now moved their archers, as we said earlier, up onto the top of the mound. So now they're going to be shooting down onto Conan's infantry. Just draw your attention here to Aurelius's step noble cavalry. Now if you notice here, he's taken around this rock here. Now it's a good tactical reason why he's doing that. If you notice, can you see the flank of Conan's Roman army there? And what I think he's going to do there, he's going to take that cavalry round, and in coordination with his infantry, he's going to smash into the flank of Conan's army there. Now that could cause maybe a mass rout of Conan's army. So that's a nice smart move there by Aurelius there. Nice tactical cavalry move there. And also, if his Roman ally charges cavalry in at the same time, surely that would guarantee a rout. There's Conan's cavalry charging there, and bang! As he charges up that slope into those Vandal troops there. That's 2 of his cavalry units gone there. He's bringing another 2 cavalry units in there as well, and bang! Okay, here comes that green Clibanarii cavalry coming down the mound there, and bang! It smashes into Conan's army. That's a massive impact there, and you can see Conan counter-attacking with his cavalry there. Okay, so that was a big cavalry hit there. Now you can see I'm moving my Romano Legionnaire infantry forward here to support Conan going up that hill. I've got my Grail Knights there ready to charge in when necessary as well. Okay, as I say, looking on the other flank of the battlefield here, you can see that Legion 22 is using his long-range archers. He's just moving them forward there to probably start targeting the Celts there. You can do a lot of damage to those Celtist infantry. And as I say, you can see First Prime's purple Roman there facing the enemy red Rome there. Probably going to be a lot of missile exchanging going on there. But here on our right flank, we are trying to make inroads up this mound here to attack the enemy troops. I think Conan's did very well there, but look at these Vandals cavalry here. They're going to smash into the flank of Conan's troop. Now, is this going to cause a mass rout as they go in there? We're just going to have to wait and see. Here they go, and bang! As they smash in there. What an impact that is. And now you can see the enemy green Clibanarii cavalry coming down the mound as well. Okay, so let's have a look at what's hitting Conan here. He's got a Berserker unit, Hound of Kulan Berserker unit coming in on him, taking away morale from his troops, using those effective against armor maces. So they're charging in on Conan's infantry there. Okay, plus you've got those steppe guys, those steppe cavalry coming in there, Vandals cavalry, plus you've got this green Roman Equitoi Clibanarii smashing into Conan's infantry and cavalry there. So there's a lot of enemy troops smashing into Conan's infantry there. As you can see here, I'm bringing my Grail Knights in to try and counter the enemy attack on Conan's infantry, plus I'm bringing my infantry forward as well. But make no mistake here, Conan's infantry could rout there. Bang! As that green cavalry smashes in, bang! As my Grail Knights smash in there. This is massive cavalry battle, cavalry and infantry battle here on our right flank. As you can see, I'm moving my Legionnaires, my Romano-British Legionnaires forward here as well. Okay, so I'll put them on auto fire, so they'll be throwing their pilers into that Roman infantry there. But as I say here, I think Conan's infantry is held so well there, being smashed by all those enemy cavalry and those that Hound of Kulan Berserker unit there as well. He's done very well. As I say, I've just charged my Grail Knights in there as well. Over here you can see that First Prime's Roman army are fighting the Demon's red Roman army there. So make no mistake, there'll be a lot of missiles in there because they've both got lots of Plumbarteri units there. And as you can see, Legion's archers there are shooting into the Celts. Now my guess is that Barkeyman, the only thing he can do is attack, because if he just stands there, he's going to lose loads of his men, and you've got that fully upgraded red Roman cavalry locked and loaded, ready to charge in as well. But maybe here on the right flank here, attacking up this mound, you can see First Prime, as I say, good teammate, bringing his Equitoi Clibanarii effective against armoured cavalry over here as well. But here you can see there's a massive fight going on here. I can see several of Conan's units starting to rout, and here comes that steppe horde cavalry charging in again, going to smash into Conan's engaged troops, and bang as it smashes in there. And you can see now a lot of Conan's infantry are starting to rout. Let's pause the game for a second. So here you can see one of his comitatenses is routed. There's 122 man units. Look at the infantry now. You can see, as they say, First Prime's brought his Clibanarii, his Equitoi Clibanarii cavalry over as well. And you can see this Spearman's green Equitoi Clibanarii cavalry locked and loaded, ready to charge in. Plus he's got his infantry there as well. As I say here, you can see Demon and First Prime's infantry exchanging metal tipped darts. So make no mistake, there will be loads of missiles being thrown into each of them here. And as I say, the only thing Barkeyman could do here was attack the Sarmatians, because he was losing so many men from the archers. Okay, so that's all he could do there on this left flank of ours. Okay, but as I say here, the missiles that these two here will be exchanging will be amazing. They got so many Plumbarteri units. Over here you can see Spearman's cavalry charging in there as well. Let him bang as he charges in there. But as I say, Conan's doing the right thing here. He's moved a lot of his infantry units back there from the fray. That Hound of Kulan still fighting there as well. And as you can see, those Vandal cavalry are smashing into his infantry as well there. Let's just pause the game. So let's say Conan's infantry here, that's all he's got left of his infantry after attacking uphill. Well, it's not really a hill, a mound really. So that's all he's got left. And as I say, my Romano-British troops here, I put them on auto fire, so they would have thrown their pilers into the enemy green Roman army there. Okay, as we move across the battlefield, as I say, first Prime and Demon fighting each other there. There's be a lot of missiles going in there. So you can see there those Vandal cavalry there fighting Conan's infantry, routing a lot more of Conan's infantry there. Done the damage they wanted to, pulling back. You can see Spearmen's green Roman cavalry there charging in as well. Bang! As they charge in down that mound into Conan's units there, routing more of Conan's units. Okay, you can see I'm bringing my Grail Knights back into the fray here to attack them. Now, those you see, he's charging those cavalry, green Roman cavalry, into the flank of my legionnaires, but I've counter-attacked with my Grail Knights there and have routed a lot of Spearmen's Equitai Clibanarii cavalry there. So I'm quite pleased that I managed to do that. Okay, so we've caused them a lot of casualties. They've caused us a lot of casualties, but if you look, we've caused them a lot of casualties as well on this right flank. Now, should we keep pressing on this right flank? Should we keep trying to move up that mound here on the right? What do you think you would do? Okay, so that's where we want to get up there if we can. But as I say, Conan's lost a lot of his infantry there, so it may well rely on cavalry and a little bit of infantry if we try and force our way up there. But as you can see, there's archers up there and there are infantry units up there as well. Now here you can see a Hound of Cunan there attacking my legionnaires. Okay, now remember, the Hound of Cunan bring a big fear factor. They haven't got such high specifications as other berserkers in the game, but they counter that by having an anti-armor, effective against armor mace that they carry here. So over here on our left flank here, you can see that that Sarmatian cavalry attack there has just routed, I think, the last of the Celts. So over on our left flank here, Legion 22's done extremely well here in routing all the Celts army there, and he can now move his army around the flank of the enemy Red Rome. Okay, so Demon's Red Rome army there is in danger of being flanked by our Sarmatian ally. Now the Celts have been routed. But as I say, here we're still trying to force our way up this mound to the top. And as I say here, you can see those Hounds of Cunan there really smashing my infantry up into the air with those effective against armor maces. Look at the power that they've got there. Plus you've got a Vandal unit in there, a Step Horde unit there as well. Really attacking my my steadfast infantry. Remember, these Romano-British legionnaires are pretty tough infantry there. But as I say, we've got First Prime's cavalry round here. What's left of Conan's infantry there, and this is where we may be looking to charge up that slope. Okay, you can see I'm moving my Grail Knights forward there, my cavalry, my Grail Knights forward, plus I'm moving my infantry up the hill as well on this flank. You've got First Prime's cavalry pushing up there as well, trying to push in here on the right flank. We've kind of like, we're trying to get a foothold here on the side of this slope and then push forward from that foothold. There you can see, I think some of Conan's infantry is rallied, and we're really pushing forward here, charging up this mound. Nice hit here by First Prime using his Clibanarii Equitai, his Equitai Clibanarii here, charging up the hill. As I say, with that cavalry is so tough, you can fight infantry with them for a long time and they still do well. As you know, with most cavalry you wouldn't do that, but those Equitai Clibanarii, their defense is so good, and using their effective against armor mace is pretty good too. You can see I'm charging my Grail Knights up there as well. Plus I've got my infantry there. We're really trying to push here on this particular part of the mound, really trying to push the enemy back and trying to grab the higher ground ourselves. As I say, I think Conan's got a lot of his archers left, but he's lost a lot of his infantry. Now here you can see poor old Demon, he's fighting First Prime's army there, but of course he's also got to cover his right flank now. The Celts have been routed, and Legion 22 is bringing his Sarmatians around his flank, so poor old Demon had to split his Red Roman army there to counter the Sarmatians coming up on his right, and of course First Prime right in front of him there. So Demon's got a lot to do, and as I say, we're gradually forcing our way up on top of the mound here. with cavalry attacks and infantry attacks. So you can see a lot of the enemy green Roman troops are starting to rout here with the pressure that we're putting them on them. And I think I've actually got some of my cavalry up on top of the mound now. Now we've got the mound advantage. We've got the downhill advantage we'll get from that mound. And you can see First Prime charging his cavalry in there, and bang, as he charges into the rear of those enemy red Roman troops there. And we seem to have managed to capture the mound there. There's that fully upgraded red Roman cavalry charging into the Sarmatians there. Well, a nice hit there from those cavalry. But of course, the thing is that those Bosphorus infantry they're charging into, that are spear infantry, so they're anti-cavalry. Okay, so he's just charged those well upgraded, those fully upgraded cavalry into those anti-cavalry spearmen there. So, and also you can see that Legion 22 is bringing is alt attacking his armoured horse archers there. But you can see a lot of the enemy Red Rome troops are starting to rout now. And as you can see here, we've managed to capture the mound. We've got our troops up on the top of the mound now, and we've managed to capture the mound. So it's all downhill for us now from that mound. And you can see there those armoured horse archers there. Legion 22 is alt attacked. I just saw that unit glow there, so it's just got a battlefield promotion. Remember, when a unit does well in battle, it gets a battlefield promotion there, so that unit will have a stripe on now. But you can see the red Roman fully upgraded Sarmatian cavalry trying to do its best, and there comes the purple cavalry smashing into them as well. So I think that's the last of the enemy units there. I think most of them have been routed now. You can see Spearmen here charging in some of his infantry there against my Grail Knights, but I'm just going to charge my Grail Knights forward there. Remember, these Grail Knights got fantastic specifications. That's why you only get 32 of them instead of 54, and they are very effective cavalry. And as I say, you can see here that our team looks like it's managed to go on to win the battle there. They say that's the last. I think that's the last of the enemy units there that we've just routed there. So I think it's quite a reasonably concentrated battlefield here. If you notice here, as I say, on our right flank here, where Conan made the initial attack up that mound, there you can see a lot of dead there. Concentrated as we started to try and move up the hill. You can see a lot of Equitai Clibanarii dead there as we try moving up the mound there towards the enemy troops. There's a lot of my troops there. Look, my legionnaires dead there. A lot of them would have been killed by missiles. But as I say, and over on that left flank of ours there, you could see there was quite fierce fighting there by the amount of dead there. That was where our Sarmatian ally, of course, was fighting the Celts there. So you can see a lot of dead there as well. So I say it's a reasonably concentrated battle there. And bearing in mind that the enemy did have the mound here, I thought we've done well here to manage to capture it, really. So well done to the team there for managing to capture the mound there. Let's say it looks like, as I say, our team has managed to go on to win the battle. Okay, so just like to say, really well played to everybody in the game there. Now, I was expecting a close victory, and I was amazed when it was a clear victory. Bearing in mind that we were attacking up a mound, you know, up to the top of a mound, to get a clear victory, I thought the team did really well there. As I say, I was expecting it to be close. Highest kills in the game, can you see, goes to Brotherhood member First Prime with his Roman army there, 1,524, and then Legion 22 with his Sarmatian gets the highest kills. So well done to Legion 22 as well with his Sarmatians there. So well done to First Prime and Legion 22. They're good kills there. So let's say really well played to Spearmen there with his Roman army. Probably didn't get the kills that he wanted to there, but he did well. Well done to Aurelius. I think that might be the first time he's ever bought the Vandals faction. He probably didn't get the kills that he wanted to. Well done to Barkingman bringing Celts. Not bad kills for Celts there. And well done to Demon there. Probably didn't get the kills that he wanted to there, but he was attacked by two armies towards the end of the battle. So really well played, guys. As I say, you did extremely well there, and I thought holding the mound you did well. My Romano-British Army didn't get the kills really that I wanted, but attacking uphill, I didn't expect it would do. Well done, First Promise, he got the highest kills in the game. Well done to Legion 22 there, as I say, second highest kills in the game. And well done to Conan for leading the charge up that hill. I knew one of the three of them would really start being aggressive, and it turned out to be Conan there leading the, as I say, the attack up the hill. So nice bit of diversity there, I think. Romano-British, Rome, Sarmatians, Rome in our team. And so that's quite good. And Rome, Vandals, Celts and Rome in the other team. Just say, hope you enjoyed this battle. Look forward to seeing you soon. Please leave a thumbs up if you like.